Hi, and welcome to Watery Eyes. Help, how do I stop my eyes from tearing? Unfortunately, this is a area I have a lot of personal experience in, and I am hoping that this video helps at least one person out there. This is, in a sense, a makeup video, but not a tutorial, in that our eyes are a huge part of our makeup routine, and if we cannot keep makeup on due to watery eyes, that is a big problem. So, not a sexy topic, not fun and glitzy, but I feel like this is a topic that no one's really discussing. So back in 1995, 96, somewhere around there, I was a makeup artist for MAC Cosmetics. I was young. I was about 27, 28. And one day I just woke up and my right eye would tear. And it wasn't like tears rolling down my face. It was tears that would kind of seep up into this area, come out here, seep up. They never went down really. Sometimes I'd be a little watery under the eye, but never a full tear that would roll down my face. Always just thin tears that made my skin raw and red and ate off all my makeup. So by the time I got to work, or certainly a couple hours into my shift, this eye is red and raw and almost all the makeup is off, and this eye has makeup on. And I found that very, very frustrating as a makeup artist to be showcasing my own talent on my face, but not able to control my makeup from coming off. At first, I thought perhaps it was an allergy to makeup, and I would even switch to different brands or even drugstore brands. I would try all the brands, and it didn't matter what I did, my right eye would tear. It was worse on Sundays, because if I went to church and even got the tiniest bit emotional, all my makeup came off my right eye. Once in a while it affected my left eye, but almost all of the time it was my right eye only. If we were driving in the car, my husband and I, he loves to blow the air conditioning. He runs hot. Just the tiniest hint of air conditioning or wind, boom, waterworks out of this eye. And it was frustrating, and I just thought it was something that I had to live with, until one day I couldn't stand it any longer. I had suffered with it for about 5 or 6 years, and I went to an ophthalmologist, and the ophthalmologist gave me some options, and he said that there were some prescription drops called Restasis, and I had seen the commercials for them. Janine Turner, the really cute actress from Northern Exposure, had dry eye, and she used to be the Restasis representative. And he said that they were about $100 a month, and it took about 3 months to see if they would work. And they don't work for everyone. And so at the time, I think money was tight, and I was thinking, gosh, $100 a month, and it could take $300 to really find if it's effective. I don't know if that's really an option for me. He said another thing we can do is we can put silicone plugs in your tear ducts. What dry eye is, chronic dry eye or dry eye, number one, it's hormone related, and it largely affects women, not very many men. It largely affects women, and it is hormone related. And a lot of the times you hear about it in later life as women start to approach menopause, go through menopause, come out of menopause. But for me, it started at 27. And what the dry eye does is your tear ducts are inflamed, and they don't produce enough viscous, thick, natural tears. Viscous, thick, natural tears will stream down our face. And so this particular type of tearing that happens with dry eye is it's like a thin, and it seeps up, and that's why it takes all your makeup off. It causes red, rashy skin. It hurts, it burns. And that's why it's your tear duct is dry, and it's not producing a natural normal tear. And so he said by putting silicone plugs into my tear ducts, that it could help my tear ducts produce proper tears. And I was willing to try anything. So what they do for a week is they put collagen plugs in your tear ducts, and if you do well with that, then you'll come back in a week. The collagen slowly absorbs over 7-8 days, and then they put the silicone in. I couldn't believe how my life changed overnight. The collagen plugs were incredible. I couldn't feel them. I remember the first day, literally like a dog driving with my head out of the window and no tears at all. And I thought, this is it, hallelujah. And I went back in a week. I said, yes, yes, give me the silicone plugs. And he did. And here's what happened. Silicone plugs are not as spongy and soft as collagen. So while the collagen plugs felt amazing, like I couldn't even feel them, the silicone plugs I could feel. And it didn't matter if I looked this way, up, but the minute I looked down, right, I looked down into my tear duct, the silicone plugs would poke me in the right eye. It never bothered my left eye, but my right eye, the one that teared, it poked me. And for years and years, every time I looked down, I'd kind of jump because it poked me. It did not feel good. It did help with the dry eye though. Until one point, gosh, it must have been a few years later in my mid-30s, I went back to an ophthalmologist and I said, please take this out. This is just not working. And so he did. And I, again, did not approach the prescription drops because I did not want to commit $100 a month to see if they worked, but you have to invest probably 3 or 4 months worth. So I just kind of lived with it and I hated it, and I apologized to clients and I apologized on jobs, and it was just embarrassing to be a makeup artist. And for 15 years now, my eye makeup wouldn't stay on my right eye. I also wear fake lashes. I'm that girl. My mom wore fake lashes her whole life. I started wearing fake lashes in around 1989, 90. And I liked wearing fake lashes most days, but they didn't stick. You know, I'd put them on and then within hours they'd be lifting up in the corner or lifting up in this corner, never this eye, always this eye. And it was so frustrating, not to mention the red raw skin that it left around the eye. And so finally, after I had a baby, I thought, well, maybe the hormones will change. No, didn't. Still had my dry eye. I went to an ophthalmologist in Newport Beach, California, because at the time I lived in Southern California. And I was explaining to him how embarrassing it was. I was really there just to get my eyes checked. I hadn't had them checked in many, many years. And I had mentioned to him that my eye tears all the time. And I don't think he was really taking me seriously. I said, I think I have chronic dry eye. And he's like, probably. And then I had mentioned to him that I worked on a Hollywood TV show, and that I often worked in Hollywood on big sound stages and commercials. And suddenly he got very interested in me and wanted to know like who I knew and who I'd worked on. And so we chit-chatted a little bit, and he's like, I'll be right back. And he went down the hall and he came back and he brought me a box of samples, Restasis. And he said, I want you to try these samples. I'm going to write you a prescription, and if these work, then you are going to have the prescription ready to go. He said that I know price is a concern for you because it is $100 a month. They come like this, okay? They come like this in a box, and it's a month's supply. And he's like, but I'm going to teach you how to use these so you can make this box last 6 months to a year. And I'm like, what? So $100 a year or $150 a year sounded very agreeable to me, but $100 a month, I wasn't so sure. So I didn't think a whole lot of it. You know, I just, nothing had really worked for me, but I took them home. I started using them, and within a day or two, I was just blown away. I mean, my dry eye was gone. It was gone, and it only took 1 drop a day, 1 drop in this eye, 1 drop in this eye. And the trick he taught me, and why I want to tell you, is I don't want the prescription because these are expensive, and eventually I think the patent will run out and you can start finding them in generic form, but they're not generic yet because I think these started in the 90s. We're not quite there yet, but they come in little vials. You probably have seen vials like this in the drugstore, and you just twist the top off, And I thought once you twist it off, you can't put it back on, but he said, no, you can. So this one vial, they want you to use this a day and toss it. He said you can get a whole week out of this. And he's right. There's enough liquid in there you can see. And all I would do is I would put 1 drop in this eye, 1 drop in this eye, put the lid back on. And this would last me about 7 days. And I've done this since 2010. So over 10 years I've used Restasis drops. And now I'm to the point where I really only have to use them a few times a week, and I only use them in this eye because this eye never tears. I use it in this eye. I also largely am off gluten. Gluten is inflammatory. Chronic dry eye is inflammatory. And so I think maybe diet and nutrition could have a little bit to do with my anti-inflammatory tear ducts too. But I live and swear by these Restasis drops, and I can make a 1-month supply last almost a year. This is only $100. It's so worth it. And if you're out there right now and you're like, yes, I'm so sick of my eyes tearing. I'm so sick of not being able to keep makeup on. So I just stopped wearing makeup years ago. I get it. I gotcha. That's why I'm doing this video. There's someone out there that needs this, and they were maybe freaked out by a prescription, or they were put off by the price. And I'm here to tell you, I've used these over 10 years. They are effective. The best way is go to your ophthalmologist, ask them for samples. Ask them, please, before I invest $100, can I please can you give me Restasis samples? I guarantee you they have them. Your ophthalmologist will have. It's by the company Allergan. Allergan? Yeah, the people who made Botox. So I hope that helps someone out there. I promise you can make a vial last a long time. And when you've used them as long as me, it's very possible that you can make the vial last even longer, or you can even just do it in one eye. Most people have dry eye predominantly in one eye over the other, but some people have it in 2. I have seen women with dry eye for 30 years in my makeup chair, and often they attribute it to allergies. But then I ask them, well, do you have it every day? Yes. Do you have it year round? Yes. So it's not seasonal? No. Does it matter if you're wearing makeup or not wearing makeup? No. And these are the women I'm telling. And some of them take me seriously, and they go to the doctor and they try the drops. And some people just, you know how people are. There's certain people you can lead to water, but you can't make them drink. So I thought, well, if I can do a YouTube video, if I can share what I know, my experience, maybe it will help 1 or 2 women out there who have lived with this and are just sick of it. Or maybe you've gone to the eye doctor and they haven't taken you seriously. He was not about to take me seriously until I mentioned my Hollywood career. And then suddenly, I don't know, something clicked and he took me more seriously, and that's when he brought me samples. So I do believe samples are a great way to try it before you know, pull the plug on the prescription, shelling out that money. Anyway, I hope that helps. It would help me so much if you would like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel so I can grow this community of women. You guys give me the best ideas for videos. So I'm doing more videos now by request. I'm doing more tutorials by women who have asked me years for certain subjects that I just kind of didn't want to touch. So it really does help if you subscribe. And I do post a video now every Saturday. I find that women like to grab their cup of coffee and sit and watch YouTube videos. It's kind of their guilty pleasure time on Saturday mornings. So you can help me out a lot by subscribing so that I can grow more topics, more videos, more community in this awesome realm of women over 40. Bye for now.